Given the choice between learning to dive in a dirty lake close to London Heathrow Airport or the Great Barrier Reef, we unsurprisingly chose the latter. We spent 3 days out on the reef, diving 12 times, including once at night, which is pretty sketchy, gaining the skills to become paddy open water divers. In this video, I'll share with you what the tourist reefs are really like, the things we saw, and I'll also share my opinions of the general experience, which was all filmed on DJI's latest Action 5 Pro. First day of the dive. How you feeling?
Good. Excited.
Slightly apprehensive, I think. It's a bit cloudy. They're just setting up. Hoping to see some sharks. Let's get going. As you can see, the sea was pretty rough. We'd motored about 3 hours in these waters to Milne Reef, which is about 60 kilometres northeast of Cairns. It's known for its clear waters that you can see here and vibrant wildlife. Although the deeper you go, obviously it's not so colourful. There are some amazing swim-throughs, however, and this one was particularly cool because as you reached the other side, the colour of the coral became a whole lot more vibrant. And of course, there are plenty of turtles. This is a green sea turtle. Although I knew that we would see sharks on the rest of this holiday with the trip to Fiji, I was dying to see one in Australia. We were quite lucky to see this little white tip just here. We're just back from the first dive. How'd you get on?
I know! Good. It's amazing.
Saw a little shark just at the end. Yeah, it's stunningly blue. Super busy boat. There's 30 people on it.
He's already too excited just watching me do that.
Yeah, 10 out of 10. As we motored to our next dive site, the conditions started to change and the wind picked up. We hopped in to snorkel because we'd completed our 2 dives of the day and it was pretty rough, and the only thing I managed to see was this hawksbill sea turtle. Navigating the reef is a bit of a fine art. You can see here that he's slowly moving the boat between coral bommies so as not to ground out. After our first day, we still hadn't qualified, and so we had to sit out the night dive for the first night. Watching the others get ready was amazing because looking into the sea you could see the bigger fish, probably a shark, that greyish spot, circling the boat. And as they descended down the rope, you could see their lights shining around whilst they were searching for something interesting to see. The next day, we were up early at 6:30 and straight back in the water to complete the final steps of the qualification process to become open water divers. Once we'd qualified, we were allowed to dive on our own, obviously buddied up. It was neat here swimming underneath the boat for the first time because looking up, you can see all of the fish hanging out in the shade, which apparently provides them with safety from birds that might attack them from above, and even the sun that keeps them cool. Annoyingly, I didn't find Nemo, but I did see these anemone fish, which are kind of similar and live in similar anemone type structures. Come the evening then, it was our turn for the night dive. It was optional, but of course we had to do it. Torches were strapped to our forearms, and then took the plunge into what was reasonably rough water, so it was quite nice to get below the chop, where it suddenly becomes a whole lot calmer. Once you're in the water, the only thing you can see is the beam of your torch. What we were told about where you pointed the torch was quite important, because if you highlight something, like your face, or a smaller predator, a bigger predator then sees it more clearly as a target. The fish you can see here are giant trevally, and so my girlfriend Lizzie thought it'd be funny to highlight me with her torch, and I'm so annoyed I didn't get this on camera because one of those fish turned and swam square at my chest. Having realised that clearly they can't swallow me, they weren't interested, and so we were able to complete some of these swim-throughs. To be honest, we didn't really see much wildlife, but it was amazing simply to swim in anticipation. So no sharks, but we did see this Maori wrasse.
well done.
That was cool.
That was good, wasn't it? That was tough.
The final day then, after absolutely no sleep on the boat because it was rocking and a-rolling all night, and we were up again at 6 a.m. But it was all worth it as soon as you got in the water because the colours and life on this day were excellent. We were diving in shallower water, which meant that there was far more vibrancy in the colour of the coral and the fish that we could see. We even got a bit creative about things to do at the safety stop. Lizzie's take was a bit of acrobatics. She'd mastered the backward roll. However, I think, as you'll see, her front roll could do with a bit of work. Oh dear. Now this, I felt, was very impressive. This is giant lettuce coral, and it's actually very susceptible to bleaching, and you can see here it's hugely vibrant and it's massive. This particular coral is even home to a moray eel that's poking his head out just down here that I sheepishly approached because I wasn't sure how big it was. Let me know in the comments if you think this is a green or giant moray eel. I can't seem to work it out. Now, I'm no expert, but the reefs that we dove on I found impressive, and for me they ticked all the boxes for what I was expecting for the Great Barrier Reef, minus some massive sharks. And as for the camera, well, I'm hoping that this footage speaks for itself. I filmed it in the flat log profile and then applied the DJI lookup table to bring the colour back to Rec 709, and then I have fiddled slightly with the saturation and contrast in places to make it look more true to life, but broadly it remains untouched. We booked our trip with ProDive Cairns. It cost us just over £500 each for the 3 days, including accommodation, food, and transfers to and from the airport, which we thought was incredible value. And to be honest, the quality of the food on board was exceptional. So 10 out of 10 for that. If you're considering a dive, I can absolutely recommend them. There's a link in the description. It's not sponsored, but I'll put it there because it's easy to share. And if you like the video, then please like and subscribe for plenty more adventures to come. Thanks.